Do you think that Grant Shapps is right? He said that people are tired of all the drama surrounding Boris Johnson. Do you share that fatigue?
Well, I don't think I do, because you look at the headline of your paper this morning and you see a picture of him with his dog. People are pursuing relentlessly. He's an incredibly larger than life figure, and he will, you as the media can't leave him alone. And I think generally people feel a great interest in him and everything he does. He's one of those people who connects with people very easily. He has enormous faults, as of course you two don't, but I certainly do. But he's he just has a larger than life figure, and he's earning $6.5 million this year, traveling the world making speeches, and he's in such huge demand because he's a big global figure.
But Jonathan, you make the point there where you say that media can't leave him alone, and that, they're taking pictures of him when he's jogging, but they're taking pictures of him because he's resigned as an MP and left a stinking goodbye note.
You're being very kind to your own profession. He is always in the headlines. There are always questions of, will Boris do this? There's a lot of misreporting about what he is and isn't going to do. There's already massive speculation, as you know, about what he's going to do now. So I'm afraid, for once, I'm going to disagree with you on that subject.
That's okay. You're very welcome to. Shall we indulge in some of the speculation? Do you think he might stand in Nadine Dorries's old seat, and would you advise him to do that or not?
Well, I think there are two things. Firstly, excuse me, he's allowed himself a lot of opportunity by standing down. He can, if he wants, carry on earning a significant amount of money, or he can bide his time coming into politics again. There are three issues, though, aren't there? One, you presuppose the Conservative Party will elect him as a candidate, which is a big if. I'm not sure Rishi and Central Office are in that big a rush to have him back as a Conservative candidate. Two is, does he actually want to do it? And three, does the Scrutiny Committee allow him to run again? And we haven't, of course, got the results of that. So there are a lot of ifs in the Nadine Dorries. And of course, the final if is, do the local association, who have the responsibility of electing their candidate, want Boris Johnson as their member?
Jonathan, Marland, what did you make of his note? I'm sure you read all 1,000 words. There's a couple that stand out. Witch hunt, kangaroo court. What did you think of it?
Well, I do think it's an extraordinary display where you have a group of MPs, of which many are disappointed. Some have their own political agenda. Some have their own personal agenda. Deciding the future of a former prime minister who, of course, we agree divides opinion, but for those that do think he's done a number of things right, will look back and say, got the fastest vaccine rollout in the world virtually, that he got Brexit done, which of course not everyone agrees with, that he's done a lot and been a huge supporter of Ukraine, which despite officials perhaps advising against it. So I think that to treat a man like this in this way is absolutely ridiculous. And for the chairman of that committee, Harriet Harman, to come out before they even interviewed him saying he was guilty rather sets the scene for a discredited group. And, these MPs are not the paragon of virtues themselves. And I find the whole thing very unseemly. And having been traveling extensively myself for the last few months, people are laughing at us, to be honest. Our country is becoming a figure of fun, and that's a great shame.
But whose fault is that?
Well, it's a combination of faults, isn't it?
Including Boris Johnson's fault, or not?
Well, indeed, it's a combination of faults of which he will be partially culpable. In fact, very culpable, but he is not the only person who is doing this. The witch hunt on WhatsApp messages is frankly laughable. It's got nothing to do with the remit of the committee of Baroness Hallett. we're getting mad over all these sort of extraneous things which go beyond the remit of these committees when they're set up to judge them.
Okay. I mean, on that point, though, Boris Johnson seems to be happy to share the WhatsApps. He's saying that he's been blocked from sharing them.
Well, you're completely right. He is happy to do it, and more power to his elbow, whereas others seem to be reluctant. But I do think it's a sideshow, and hopefully the ones I sent him will have no relevance.